A few winters back, on social media pages, I read about a police officer who very generously donated a new pair of worm boots to a homeless man sitting on the streets on a cold night. The story went viral after authorities took a picture of a generous donation in action that touched people's hearts. When the blogger, what the picture and the story don't tell is what happened next. The blogger tracked down the homeless man and discovered that he was still wandering the streets barefoot. When he asked about the footwear, the man said that he had to hide those expensive boots because they could cost him his life. We feel that this tale also highlights what happens in education. We supply the solution we think people need or the solution we want them to have without enough empathy for their needs. We wonder if, had the well-intentioned officer spent more time with the homeless man, he might have learned about other ways to meet that need, or maybe he had more important needs to be met. So how do we become more empathetic and uncover the needs of students, teachers, and parents in our community? Teachers and school leaders often feel limited by old habits, traditions, and test scores, because our current education system is based on outdated ideas. These ideas suggest that students are passive learners and that a one-size-fits-all approach is best. But these concepts are now considered old-fashioned. These ideas and principles served us well for many years, but are no longer sufficient. Are we learning as fast as our world is changing? A year ago, when I went to my first practicum, I saw the education system from a different angle. I observed a principal who was always annoyed, teachers who were frustrated, and students who disobeyed. This experience made me sad about potentially becoming a part of the same environment in the future. And when I thought about how to make the improvement and where to start this improvement, I discovered and I was surprised to realize that it all starts with educating the right leaders. So what might be the quality? Who is a leader? Is a leader manager? Or is a leader a person with a high IQ? Psychologist Daniel Goleman, the author of the influential book Emotional Intelligence, has explored several academic surveys trying to quantify the extent to which IQ tests, similar to the SAT, identify the career success. And when he and according to his research, IQ tests are equal to certain portion of career success. And raise your hand if you think that the percentage is between 15 to 25. Okay. What about between 40 to 55? Okay. And 60 to 70%. Good. Well, actually, the percentage is between 4 to 10%. As described by Daniel Pink in his book A Whole New Mind, expertise and IQ is crucial, but no longer sufficient in a world in which we have been shifting from information age to conceptual age, where creators and empathizers are more important than knowledge workers. So what might be the qualities an effective educational leader needs in conceptual age? What does it take to be a true leader in education? What if I say to you, it takes empathy, or empathy is king? Empathy is a word that seems to be popping up everywhere. But what does it really mean? Empathy is the ability to share another person's feelings as if they were your own. Having empathy improves your leadership, teaches you to ask correct questions, and enables you to understand others better. Empathy also makes very transparent communication, honest and transparent communication, which might also be both frustrating and uncomfortable. So, think for a moment about the last time someone shared a problem with you. What was your reaction? Did you try to lighten the mood or immediately solve the problem? If so, you might be suffering from a lack of empathy. According to the research in neuroscience by a scientist in Cambridge University, Robbins, 98% of people are born with the ability to understand others, but many don't use the skill enough. It's like a muscle that can get stronger with practice over time. The more we learn about empathy, the more interested we become in developing it. By embracing empathy, we can connect with others, explore new concepts, and connect with those we want to influence. So let's focus on a practical method to enhance the skill, which is to interview for empathy. The goal of empathy interviews is to have conversations with second users, with end users, like students, teachers, and parents, that are open to any solutions and discussions. In empathy interviews, the interviewer works to build a rapport and then evokes stories from the interviewee, and really tries to understand their point of view and their perspective. In empathy interviews, it's very important to ask why frequently. Even if you think that you know the answer, asking people why they do or say things can lead to very surprising insights. To gain a deeper understanding, it's better to avoid using usual terms like always or often. It's better to use the specific occurrences or instances, such as, tell me about the last time when you, and ask them to continue this sentence. When I read a book by Kyle Schwartz called I Wish My Teacher Knew How One Question Can Change Everything for Our Kids. And she is a teacher at elementary school, and she shares her experience about a better communication and understanding of her students by asking to complete a sentence, I wish my teacher knew. And the answer of the students contained the following: I wish my teacher knew that my dad works 2 jobs and I don't see him much. I wish my teacher knew that my family lives in a shelter. I wish my teacher knew that I'm smarter than she thinks I am. This simple exercise significantly transformed the way she communicated with her students. And you also can include these empathy interviews in your school community. If you are a teacher, you could ask your students about their homework by tell me about the last time when homework really helped you. How did you feel? Do you ever get stuck doing homework? If you are a principal, ask your teachers. For example, how do you feel about the last changes in our curriculum? How can we do better and why? This method will really help you to build a very strong community of like-minded people who are ready to use resources and time that best serves everyone in your school. As we reflect on the powerful narrative of a homeless man and the police officer, well-intentioned but misdirected police officer, it's well-intentioned but misdirected police officer, it's evident that empathy is a cornerstone in effective educational leadership. So let's enhance the skill and make our school environment a better place for everyone. Moving forward, let's embrace empathy as a guiding principle in our pursuit of educational leadership. By actively seeking to understand and support people, by implying a practical method such as interviewing for empathy, we can foster a more inclusive and supportive educational environment. Thank you.